What's up everybody, welcome back to a brand new video on Lexalexus. Today we've got more championship score predictions. Had a little bit of a break last week with the FA Cup. It's a very interesting time in January. It's officially like my first proper video going into 2023. I technically posted New Year's Day predictions, but this one is for the first time within 2023. So it's already feeling really fresh to start making content again on this channel. I can only apologize for not being really consistent with YouTube at the moment. There's been a lot of things behind the scenes that's been really challenging so far, but I will try to pull something for you guys. I'm always keeping my eyes on the latest champion news, including the transfers, which some transfers did take place and some notable ones actually as well, which I'll also mention while I'll be doing my predictions today. Also, to make up for my absence, all the prediction leagues are now updated as well. So on the screen, you're able to see the Championship Prediction League, and I'll also flash the Premier League Prediction League as well to show those standings as well. If you guys like what you see, please give the video a like. It does tremendously help the channel. It really does help when you smash a like button. Let's go for 15 likes. I'll be terrifically appreciative. Please hit the subscribe button if you not have done so. It really does help the growth of this channel too. And please also share the channel as well, because all these things really do help us grow as a community as we're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. But without any further ado, let's start predicting these weekend's games. So the first game to predict is Rotherham versus Blackburn. So it's an early kickoff game tomorrow, and I think this is going to be intriguing to say the least. Rotherham are in a position now where they're going through a little bit of a decline, and quite a substantial one as well, and it does feel like that they're not really getting the trajectory that they really need to potentially get themselves out of this. And I think with Blackburn, they're just consistently still able to maintain the battle in terms of the top three, and they're still holding on to that third place position, although that can be taken away from them if results go against them this weekend. Rotherham made a recent purchase of Sean Morrison, which I think is a very interesting signing for Rotherham moving forward there. And in terms of predicting this game, I still have a sneaky suspicion that Blackburn will be the favourites in terms of an attacking quality. I think Rotherham are not quite there mentally to pick themselves up. So as a prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 Blackburn. I think it's going to be a tight away victory to Blackburn. Let me know what you think though in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Bristol City versus Birmingham. Bristol City, a team that are definitely running out of patience so far in terms of their team's performances and on the manner of their manager Nigel Pearson as well. What I'm going to elaborate a lot on in terms of my analysis is that the table is so compact that 2 wins could definitely change a team's season. Even teams, you know, within the relegation battle, 2 wins for them, then all of a sudden they've now got a load of breathing space, as it seems as well. So you can never take any game for granted, and I think both these teams really shouldn't take this game for granted too. Birmingham could definitely go into the top half with some consistent results. Bristol City just need to get away from the relegation pack. As a prediction though, I think Birmingham may get something here. I'm going to go 2-0 Birmingham based on their confidence at the moment. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Burnley versus Coventry. So Coventry have had a bit of news quite recently in terms of their ownership. Doug King is now going to be the majority shareholder, I think it was, when I read the news with Coventry. Let me know in the comments down below how you felt about that recent bit of news. Obviously, we still got the matter of Ashley and the stadium, but we only have to really think about what's going to happen with that stadium after the season, because Mike Ashley has given Coventry the CBS at least for this whole season. Don't know what's going to happen after that, but I hope they can find something around that. Burnley, I mean, they're cruising at this point. They could potentially go second year and still win the league by about 5 points at least. They are absolutely cruising. They'll have to take a catastrophic disaster in terms of injuries for me to see anyone get anywhere close to Burnley. I just think They've got the confidence, they've got the depth. I think they've got everything going for them. As a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Burnley. I think it'll be quite a routine victory. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Cardiff versus Wigan. This is a crucial game in the bottom of the Championship. Wigan can definitely give themselves a bit of optimism if they can pick up a good result here. Cardiff can definitely give themselves some breathing space if they themselves manage to get themselves a really good result here. So we could see a tentative game between these two teams. I'm hoping for Wigan's sake that they will attack this game more, and on the whole they have been better away from home than they have shown in their home games. But Cardiff have been more consistent at home, so it's going to be an interesting contest here. I genuinely think in terms of a confidence level, both teams are not really showing a lot of it at the moment. Both have not really won many games in terms of their last 6 matches combined. I think there's only been one win between these two teams in their last 12 games combined, which is incredible, to be honest. So I definitely think Cardiff, one thing that I have noticed from them, they've drawn an abundance amount of games, but have not been able to pick up too many points. Wigan, just in general, have just been on a really bad losing streak, actually. As a prediction, no. I think Wigan might sneak a point, but it's not going to be helpful considering they're going to have to be chasing Cardiff to try and make up some ground for the relegation fight. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think it will be a result that doesn't particularly help Wigan, but it could potentially be one that might suit Cardiff more. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Hull versus Huddersfield. So Hull, as I have been alluding to in the beginning part of my intro, you can get 2-3 wins in a row and automatically your season looks 10 times better. And lo and behold, Hull did win back-to-back games quite recently, and because of this, Hull are now looking like a team no longer involved in the relegation part, if that makes sense. They're kind of a little bit, they've got a bit of space now actually from that chasing pack there. So now it's just interesting to see, can Hull now take this momentum to really attack this season? Because I definitely think they've got a really capable squad of doing it. It's now just seeing if they're going to be consistent enough to pull that off. Now a Huddersfield team where actually I think they definitely did not want this FA Cup weekend. They were definitely having some positive momentum. They are now in a position where they're looking like that they could potentially have things go their way and survive this championship season if they can just hang on to a couple more positive results. But against an in-form Hull team, I think that's going to be quite tricky for Huddersfield. So as a prediction, I'm going to put a 2-1 Hull win, but I think it's going to be really, really tight, Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Luton West Brom. Two in-form teams. Luton currently right up there within the top 6 fight. And we've got West Brom, a team aspiring and chasing to be in that top 6 fight. I think this is going to be a really, really good fight here, and I really hope we see a good contest there. And in general, for most of Luton's games when Rob Edwards has been in charge, maybe discarding the QPR game where they were absolutely terrific and won by a 3-goal margin, all the other matches have been relatively close, They would lose or win by the 1-goal margin. They lost by a 1-goal margin, I remember recently against Middlesbrough, but they won with a 1-goal margin against Norwich. So they've been a really tight contest. So I think we'll see another one here, considering this is a West Brom team where they have really, really turned it around. And no surprise, Carlos Corberan's been recognised with this, as he has been linked actually to potentially take over from David Moyes of West Ham as the pressure grows on him and West Ham with their losing streak in the Premier League. So definitely getting the right recognition. I definitely think, however, there is going to be a bit of a gap when we get the likes of Asante getting that red card. So he's going to be away for a couple of games. DK's going to have to step up to the plate. As a prediction, I still think with the absentees that West Brom will have, I think they could get a win. 2-1 I'm thinking. I think it's going to be really, really tight. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Middlesbrough versus Millwall. So, I've got to say, Millwall I think are another team that I definitely do underrate a lot of the time. And right now, Millwall are in the thick of it alongside with Luton within, the competition of the top 6 race, which is incredible. But so have Middlesbrough. They have also turned it around likewise with West Brom as well. And they were momentarily third place in the table, which is incredible that Middlesbrough have really risen up that much. So it could either be one of two things. It could be Millwall potentially being really, really tight and compact and they managed to squeak a result out, or it'll be a typical Middlesbrough performance where they play with so much confidence. Chuba, by the way, 11 goals in 11 appearances. He is really starting to really get on the radar in terms of trying to be the top goal scorer. He's blooming very late on, especially considering the poor start he had at the start of the season. He was barely given a look in right in the beginning there. As a prediction, I just feel this Middlesbrough team have got a good sense of momentum at the moment, and I think it's going to take a lot to halt it. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory to Middlesbrough. I think they will get something out of this, but Millwall could potentially be a team that could definitely throw a spanner in the works. They have done once or twice before, so I wouldn't be too surprised. But I'm going to go for a Middlesbrough win. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Preston Norwich. So this is very tough for me to predict. I think Preston are going to start Liam Delap, who they have managed to get from Manchester City. Of course, he was at Stoke at the start of the season. He actually scored in this last 2 games for Stoke before he was recalled. So maybe Liam Delap is going to be in this goal scoring form and is really going to hit the ground running for Preston. Who knows? But if he can hit the ground running, you've got to question how Stoke really struggled to get the best out of him for most of that season. Norwich, in this game, they're going to have David Wagner, of course, as their manager. And within his first game as Norwich manager in the FA Cup against Blackburn, they did lose out. And once again, it's just, there's something fundamentally wrong with Norwich in terms of their confidence. They definitely have the quality, but they have got this arrogance that they feel like they should be better than anyone else. And definitely they're getting the negative effect of negative momentum. And if they don't pull themselves together, it can be really difficult for them. David Wagner's got a really big job on his hands, and I think it's an interesting appointment. I just want to see if it pays off. I'm just more intrigued about the appointment rather than thinking, yes, this is a great appointment. So I'm going to reserve my judgment on it at the moment because I think it's peculiar. It wouldn't be my first choice, at least. As a prediction, I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw, actually. I'm not too sure about this one. I have a feeling Norwich will set out to try and not lose this game, and Preston could potentially have a bit more firepower in their ranks now. But I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think they'll cancel each other out. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game to predict is Reading QPR. I won't lie, this is one of the few games where I'm not particularly sure on what to think about, really. You know, it's definitely, in my eyes, 2 mid-table teams going up against each other. QPR dropping quite substantially, and they're still not quite ticking as consistently as they were under Beale, as they are currently under Neil Critchley at the moment. So Critchley's got a lot of critics to answer. Reading, they've in general been pretty good with their home form, and they've stayed competitive in the top half of the table. So fair play to Reading. Them and Birmingham continuously proving us wrong. And I think this will be another under the radar sneaky 3 points again from Reading. I just think they are so good at literally just appearing out of nowhere. And I feel like Reading will sneak a 2-1 win. QPR could definitely get something, but I think it's Reading's game here. So I'm going to go 2-1. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Sheffield United Stoke. So once again, I just think Sheffield United, with the gap they're starting to form with the playoff picture, which is quite disappointing in a way, where you've got your top 2 kind of pulling away now from the rest of the competition. You know, it's quite disappointing. It's reminding me of a couple of championship seasons that I've watched quite recently as well, but not in the extent that I'm seeing here. What I'm kind of hoping is that it's a little bit closer and it's a bit more exciting going to the final day of the season, because when the stakes are higher in terms of promotion, you know, it definitely gets a neutral fan excited. But it's kind of been a foregone conclusion almost already. You know, Sheffield United, I think if they stay unbeaten for another 10 more games, I think they'll do it. And I think, you know, depending if they finish first or second, they've already got a really, really good lead from the chasing pack at the moment. And despite they actually, you know, managed to drop points for the first time in 6 games, They drew 1-1 to QPR. QPR would be very unlucky that they didn't win that game. But I just think they've got the experience. Stoke, I think, will be a peculiar team to play up against Sheffield United. But I think Sheffield United have got the resources. So I'm going to go for a 2-0 victory to Sheffield United. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next game today is Sunderland Swansea. This one I think is going to be very open actually. Sunderland I definitely see as a team being quite versatile with the way that they play. Swansea, as we know, with their high possessive style of football, both teams really want to go for it with their attack. They don't want to sit back. So I'll be very surprised if it's a 0-0 draw between these two teams, because they do promise good, entertaining games. They both have quality players in their attacking roles, which can definitely turn the games around. And naturally, I'm undecided in this one. So I'm going to go for a draw and a frantic 2-2 draw. I think we'll get goals. So I'm going to go 2-2. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Final game to predict, guys, is Watford versus Blackpool. So Watford managed to respond brilliantly, actually, to when they lost quite recently against Swansea. They managed to beat Norwich by 1-0. And actually, when I looked at this game, it was my last live stream for the championship that I did. Watford, for me, created the better chances, and they actually defended quite well. They really limited Norwich to a whole amount there. It could be down to Norwich not being confident, but I think you've also got to give credit to the man marking that Watford were able to do, the physicality, the determination. You know, they had a great response, and I could definitely see a team that's united, but there is a definite injury problem with this Watford team, and it can definitely halter their progress in terms of trying to catch up with the likes of Sheffield United and Burnley. Blackpool have got different matters on their case. Very interestingly, they've got Josh Bowler back. They managed to get him back, terminating, I think, his contract from Olympiacos, going to Blackpool for the second half of the season. That could be a game-changing signing considering how good he was last year. So that is a transfer I will be keeping my eyes on. As a prediction, though, I think it's still Watford that just still, for me, even with the players absent, I think they can get 3 points here with quality from defender to attacker. I'm going to go 1-0, but I think it's going to be a pretty cagey tight one, because I think Blackpool will make it very difficult. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Okay guys, that wraps it up for today's video. That's my predictions for the championship. Of course, we've got Premier League games as well. And actually, I've only just realised in recording, I've not been able to give you some Premier League coverage. So on the screen will be my Premier League predictions. And I will try and get back to the swing of making these videos. But there are some real big underlying issues. Not YouTube related, but there's definitely some things going on behind the scenes that I am struggling to juggle with. So I'm trying my best in the moment. You've got this predictions video at a decent length as well. If you enjoyed it, please give the video a like. It just tremendously help the channel. Please do hit that subscribe button if you've not done so. It really helps. And please also share the channel too. That really helps as well. I just want to enjoy a nice weekend of championship football. And hopefully we'll do that here. Make sure you comment your predictions in the comments down below so you guys have a chance to enter the Lexalexus Football Prediction League. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary on the end of this video. And as always, I'll see you guys soon. Take care, everyone.